Parents, you're taking the primary step to empower yourself to be your child's first teacher. With these skills, you can help your child or children to read and write using the Systematic Synthetic Jolly Phonics program. This is an evidence-based program that will make sure your child doesn't slip through the cracks with reading and writing. Hi, my name's Jackie and I'm a primary school teacher, a Jolly Phonics trainer and a parent of two lovely children. Well, I think they're lovely most of the time. And yes, they both were taught an introduction to Jolly Phonics before they went to school in a relaxed fashion. And in their first year at school, I completed the teaching of Jolly Phonics. Now, I must profess, I don't know about you, but I'm not the world's most amazing parent. Yes, that's right, I'm not perfect. However, one thing I did get right was the teaching of Jolly Phonics to my children at a young age. A little disclaimer here, my children were not forced to learn Jolly Phonics in a regimented teaching way. I'd call it a relaxed teaching, whereby they were guided to learn incidentally in an engaged manner. This is what I'm hoping to show you that you can do in your home with lots of short clips of teaching with my own children. But please bear in mind, I believe in play as an important part of the child's development, especially in the early years. So I tried my hardest to make the learning of Jolly Phonics to be playful at this young age before my children got to school. And once they were at school, I was able to extend the learning I had given them from the preschool years. Now, both my children are outstanding readers for their age and in their first year ahead in writing, which was great. And I have this very cliche saying, readers are leaders. If a child can't read, they get a very negative mindset about themselves, which can affect many areas of learning. And as a parent, we never want that. Not only have I seen Jolly Phonics work in the home environment, but it was my time teaching it in a classroom that made me feel the need to give my children at home the skills before they got to school. I also didn't have any schools in the area teaching synthetic phonics well at the time. One of the reasons I've been driven to make these parent videos because I always get asked by parents what they can do to help their struggling child or what strategies they can use before their child starts school. Honestly, I've seen firsthand how important the basic principles of synthetic phonics are to the acquisition of learning to read and write. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping you to help your child. If you are watching this because your school has embraced Jolly Phonics, that's wonderful. These videos are just to help you support this amazing teaching practice. If you are like myself and had no schools teaching Jolly Phonics or other synthetic phonic approaches in the area, these videos will help your child to get ready to learn the basics of our very complex English language. You may just be a parent that's determined to make sure you give the best to your child in the preschool years. You may also be a parent wanting to fill the gaps with an older child who may be struggling with reading and writing. If your child does need support in this area, just know that doesn't mean that they are not intelligent. They just need to be shown how to master the code and may need more practice doing this. How exciting, I know. English has a code. Please don't worry if you're a parent of an older child. Whilst Jolly Phonics is for the younger child, you can use the ideas I give you, but you will at times need to modify them according to the age of your child. So you may need to get creative. Essentially, the principles of Jolly Phonics can be taught to any age group. However, the best results come from teaching a child at a young age so no bad habits with reading and writing are formed. I give quite a few examples of teaching Jolly Phonics activities along the way, with the younger child and the older child. But if you need some information for the much older child, please go to the South Australian Spelled website, link SOS, Spelling for the Older Student. The link is at the end of this video. Whoever you are a parent, you're busy, so I hope these short basic steps will help you to help your child in the home. I have compiled 10 videos of teaching the basics of Jolly Phonics in the home environment, and it is the basics. We have to miss out details when teaching the alternative spellings, and we just get time to touch on the simple rules that Jolly Phonics teaches. I hope to cover these in my free blog on homeschooling on my website, and the author of Jolly Phonics, Sue Lloyd's website, does a wonderful job at showing the further teaching of Jolly Phonics. We will get to her website in a minute. For the moment, I have chosen to teach you the basics of the program, as just these skills alone will give you so much power to help your child in the home. These videos aren't too long, so you can watch them anywhere, anytime. What is Jolly Phonics? Now, there's a great page on What is Jolly Phonics on my website by Sue Lloyd, the author of Jolly Phonics. Jolly Phonics is intended to be an early years program that teaches phonics, sounds matching a letter symbol, systematically and synthetically. It's the SSP method in a multisensory and enjoyable way. You will see me referring to this acronym SSP quite a lot. Basically, what we say, our sounds or phonemes, matches what we read and write, our letter symbols or graphemes. And I'll go into some more detail about this in a moment. Can you think about how you were taught to read and write? Often when I ask this question, people can't remember, but I can. I had a really tough time and I'll never forget. I was taught using the whole language or analytical approach, and I'm not too sure which one it was as my memory is hazy, but I know I was given little to no code to help me match the sounds we speak to the letters we read and write. Essentially, the other approaches, whilst giving some basic sounds, encourage the aspect of guessing or whole word memorizing. Like I've mentioned in how I learnt to read and write, historically there have been a few different approaches over the years when teaching English. You'll see on your screen a very comprehensive description of these approaches. If you would like to read these in detail, then pause your device for a minute. I will explain these approaches in a simpler format. The whole language approach was a method in which a child would have been expected to memorize words as whole, recognizing the word from the shape of the letters that make it up. And when reading, a child would have been encouraged to guess the words from the context or the picture cues in the book. The analytical approach tried to teach words in parts or a bit of phonics, but it still taught phonics with whole words. So a child may have been encouraged to see the acquaintance between the group of words or word families and rhyming words, but with particular sounds. But analysis of words would only have happened after whole words were taught, and the basic 26 letters of the alphabet was only ever introduced. That was a very quick explanation of the different methods of teaching English, but please note, mixing an analytical approach with a synthetic approach when teaching English will not achieve the same results in reading and writing as a pure SSP approach. Like I've said, Jolly Phonics uses a systematic synthetic phonics approach instead of an analytical approach. This means that the letter sounds are taught first on their own in a particular order, whilst at the same time the children are taught to blend sounds together or synthesize to create words when reading. Then they listen for these sounds in words when writing or segmenting. Now you will notice from the slide you've just seen that the order is very different from the traditional 26 letters, and you can even see it in the poster behind me. The traditional 26 letters of the alphabet, and there's reason for this. We'll come back to this shortly. I'd like to explain synthesizing as a piece of synthetic clothing made up of little parts that becomes one whole. Likewise, in language, we have sounds or phonemes that are blended together to make words in the spoken and written forms. To blend is another word to synthesize. As Jolly Phonics is a multisensory program, it ensures that you don't need to know what type of learner your child is as long as you follow the multisensory approach. Without getting too bogged down in learning styles, the multisensory aspect does make it fun. So when learning is fun, kids are engaged, and this means they learn. I hope that makes sense. There are 5 basic skills that are essential for reading and writing that Jolly Phonics promotes, and I'm going to try and help you to integrate these in your home environment. We'll be going through learning the letter sounds of English, learning the letter formation of these sounds, blending or synthesizing, helping your child to blend the sounds, identifying sounds in words for writing, and later on learning the alternative spellings for the 42 sounds. And 5, a little bit later on, we'll be reading and spelling tricky words, irregular words, words that cannot be sounded out. All of these skills should be taught together to be an effective program, except for the last skill of tricky words and when learning the alternative spellings. I'll be modifying these skills to teach in the home environment in an engaged manner. However, it's very hard as a parent to teach your own child. Well, for my children, it was hard for them to always listen to me. If at any time your child becomes disinterested or distracted, That's the time to stop and start again later. It especially applies for the children of preschool age. My eldest told me once when she was in year 1 that I was speaking like a teacher, and that was when I knew I'd pushed the teaching too far. Anyway, my motto is engaged learning is play for children, and Jolly Phonics keeps it engaging so children don't always realise that they're learning. I need to let you know who the authors of this wonderful program are: Sue Lloyd and Sarah Wernham, both teachers from England. While Sue has retired now, she is absolutely still dedicated to the teaching of SSP and has an amazing website called tcrw.co.uk, teaching children to read and write. And for the very keen parents in the group wanting to know more about how to teach our very hard language, please visit this website. The publisher or philanthropist of the program is Chris Jolly. Not only is he the publisher of Jolly Phonics, he actively gives countries around the world so much help to learn English, as seen in Nigeria's Reading Revolution on my website. If you've had a look around my website, you'll also see some links to other websites that support the teaching of Jolly Phonics or SSP, Systematic Synthetic Phonics. There are loads of documents to help support SSP and some more links to my wonderful colleagues who teach Jolly around Australia. These 10 videos are intended to be watched at your own pace while you're multitasking as a parent. I would recommend you watch them as sequentially and as quickly as possible. There is no homework in between the videos, so you can watch all videos at once. However, I found having a break between the videos allows the ideas of the Jolly Phonics to slowly change your mindset. An overview of the videos are as follows. Video 1, this is your first video now. Overview of learning and what is Jolly Phonics. Video 2, resources needed and you are your child's first teacher. A little bit of theory about phonics and the alphabetic code. Video 3, phonological and phonemic awareness and how important these are when teaching phonics. Video 4, teaching sounds, not letter names, and how to pace Jolly Phonics according to the age of your child. Video 5, learning the 42 sounds with story, song and action and correct pronunciation. Video 6, the system behind Jolly Phonics and teaching correct direction when writing. Video 7, blending the importance of decodable words, sentences and texts. Video 8, understanding segmenting or writing. Video 9, alternative spellings and tricky words. And video 10, embedding the basics of Jolly Phonics in your home and some simple rules of Jolly Phonics. These videos are not intended to replace the wonderful and much more detailed work of Sue Lloyd's free website. She goes into many more features about our English language, yet these videos are intended to demonstrate how to use all her ideas creatively in the home environment. If you feel like these videos will help you in the home environment, let's get started. Before you do, if you are thinking of watching these 10 videos, please, before you go any further, print out the English alphabetic code in colour. You will definitely need it for the next video. The link is below.